Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about The Hallmarked Man, which is the long-awaited eighth book in the Cormoran Strike series by J.K. Rowling, aka Robert Galbraith. This is a chunkle. Look how big this thing is. I don't know why I got the large print version. I ordered the normal version off of Amazon, but the large print version came. Took me a long time to read this because one, it's a very long book, and two, I was also reading another very long book called Dragonfly and Amble, which is an Outlander book. So between these two, it took me a long time to read. Also reading Rhythm of Rule, which is another very long book. So yeah, like I said, this took me like 3 months to read. It was pretty good though. I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite of the strike books, but it's definitely not my least favorite. If I had to rank all of them, I would go Cuckoo's Calling at the bottom, and then the Silk Room, and then the Ink Black Hulk, and then Career of Evil, and then Hallmark Man, right center in the middle, and then Lethal Right, and then Troubled Blood, and then The Running Grave, which is honestly one of my favorite books of all time. So while this isn't like the best mystery ever, it's definitely not the worst. I feel like a lot of parts of this book were very overly convoluted, and some elements could have been cut out, and not much would have been missed. I just feel like there's so much going on in this book that it's kind of hard to keep everybody like keep everything, keep track of everything, because there's just so much happening, and I find myself like, hold on, who is this again? Especially when it's been like, several hundred pages since we've even seen them. uh, but the mystery itself, pretty good, and I really like the resolution of it. As for the strike, Robin, will they, won't they arc, this is a very long arc. I thought they would have been together by now, or not been together, but no, we're still dealing with this. Robin is seeing her boyfriend, who is not the best. Murphy just seems like Matthew 2.0, and it's very clear that Robin doesn't love him. She doesn't even like him that much, and I feel like neither of them are being fair to each other. Like, Murphy keeps trying to push like the baby thing and trying to like move in together, and it's just all happening very fast. And Robin, I feel like she doesn't tell him how she feels. She's always been very closed off, and to a fault, really. She doesn't. One of the major character flaws is she doesn't like confrontation in her personal life, and she doesn't like to she doesn't like to say how she feels if it's gonna hurt somebody. And she it seems like she's kind of just with Murphy because she doesn't think she could do better than him, and I don't think that's fair to Murphy. I don't like him. I think he's a little too judgmental about a job, but also I feel like he needs somebody to tell the truth to him. She needs to tell him how she really feels. I feel like she's kind of just paddling him along like a puppy. So I don't know. Both of these two are making big mistakes in this relationship, and I think they would both be better off with other people. And it's funny how at the end of the book, she's mad at Strike for just now telling her how he feels when she's had these feelings about Strike as well for 8 books now, and she hasn't said anything, which kind of pissed me off a little bit. But also, Strike should have spoken up a long time ago. This whole, like, I can't tell how I really feel shit is getting old. It's like some high school shit. Um, I don't know. I just, I'm ready for them to wrap it up, really. I just feel like they're dragging on this will they won't they relationship too long. And either shit or get off the pot, as my old mum would say, right? So, yeah, overall, there's a lot of elements in this book I like, but a lot of it seems to plot along. I thought Matthew, after that whole Matthew relationship ended, Robin would kind of gain a little bit more self respect, but she doesn't. And it does make for a very interesting character dynamic, though. I like when your characters have flaws like this. They're not perfect people, they don't always make the right choices. And Her and Strike definitely don't make the right choices. There's also a bunch of characters in this book who I don't really care about. Take it or leave it. I do like Strike's relationship with his dad, though. That's really interesting. How his dad's trying to like make amends, not for publicity, just because he feels guilty about it. So I'm interested to see where that goes into book 9. Whenever book 9 does come out, though, thankfully Rowling is a pretty fast writer compared to some writers. Looking at you, George R. Martin. You know, she's read 8 of these big boys in a time it takes you to write one book. So I don't know. But yeah, I did enjoy this book. I give it a B. You know, it's not as good as some of the other ones, like I said, but it's better than some of the other ones. You know, it's straight in the middle. My 4th favorite out of 8. So let me know down in the comments below. Ooh, that's a heavy book. I almost killed myself. Okay, that is a. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought of the Hallmarked Man, and how would you rate it against the other books in the Strike series? And what do you think is going to happen in the 9th book? Do you think they're finally going to get together, or do you think they're just going to keep dragging us on for the next, like, decade? I'll see you guys next time. Peace.